This video is for the reasons of having relationships, entering into relationships. Okay, number one, I mean, I'm not trying to be a gender basher or anything like that, but I'm trying to comprehend and understand situations like this. When a person has to lie to be with somebody, are they not representing the true person that they are? Are they ashamed of who they are? When they lie to take advantage of a person, isn't that considered stealing because it's under false pretense? I mean, like I said, I'm not trying to be a gender basher, but you take a guy that lies to a woman to get in her pants. I think that with them doing something like that, either they're ashamed or insecure about who they are, or they're trying to build their self-esteem or something. But it makes me kind of wonder, why they go to the extent of going overboard. I mean, in other words, they will take months or years just to get what they want. And then once they have it, then they move on to the next person. And I'm not saying women don't have flaws, or I've met some terrible women, to be honest. Not trying to be mean, but I mean, they'll accuse a woman of being a gold digger or whatever, and that is true. There are some people out there that will, and it doesn't matter what gender, because it's happened to me with the opposite gender. But I have seen, where I mean, they'll, shower you with all kinds of luxuries, and they'll be extra sweet at the beginning of the relationship. And like I said before to other people, that it always begins the same and ends the same. My personal opinion, just be who you are, and if that person doesn't like you, then that's their loss. But my point is why do people not be who they are? I mean, are they ashamed of who they are? I mean, to the point where, like I said, they'll shower a woman with all kinds of luxuries and gifts at the beginning, and they'll be like, okay, don't get spoiled. And then when it gets to the point where they cheat on the person, instead of being a bigger person by admitting that it's over, or being straightforward and honest what the reason is, and don't do it the coward way out, like through texting, for example, or ghosting you. I mean, those has happened to me, actually. But my point is when, you take someone that is insecure even about their own body, extent of a way to build their self-esteem up, to knocking someone else down. And to be honest, is that really fair? I mean, you don't like it when it's done to do unto you. And of course, my mom would always say, treat others the way you would want to be treated, which of course is the same description from the Bible. But, and that's another thing, everybody's like playing matchmaker. I mean, what's up with that? It's like, oh, I don't want this person, but I'm going to pawn them off on you. Well, if that person was so great, why are you punting them off on me? Why don't you be with them if you want them in your life so bad? I mean, don't throw me your leftovers. I'm not trying to be mean, because people in my eyes are not really considered leftovers, but the bad behavior is what I'm referring to. I just think that when you lie to somebody and not present the real person that you really are, and not being I mean, at the beginning, of course, everybody's trying to court each other, whatever, blah, 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 But the thing about it is are you really putting out a good message? And then you turn around and then you call a woman a slut afterwards. I mean, you're the one that lied, not her. And you'll lie to get in her pants, and then you turn around and call her a slut afterwards. Is that really fair? I'm not trying to be really mean or graphic, or, like I said, I'm not trying to be a gender basher, because I have met some mean women that, that has betrayed my friends that were males. And then, also, for the longest time, when I was, around my generation time, all the women were getting left pregnant, and 2/3 of them were women raising children because the relationship turned bad, and then they would happen to enter into another relationship, giving it, basically giving it the benefit of the doubt, thinking, okay, maybe this is going to work this time. And before you know it, you're a single parent to more than one child. But I have also seen, like, some of my male friends end up as single parents as well, and which surprised me. The older my children were, which they're all grown now, but my point is when someone doesn't present the real person they really are, why lie? Why put that person through that? Isn't that defraud? Isn't that under false pretense? And if you're that insecure about your own body, the person you really are, aren't you going the wrong way about it by knocking someone else down? Do you think it's going to build yourself up? I think we got enough bullying in this world as it is. But I think it is, if a person can't be truthful and honest and be affectionate, if they don't like your quirks, your flaws, whatever, then that's their loss, the way I look at it. And like I said, that basically when someone lies to take advantage of you, I think that it's immoral. You take a person that wants to save themselves, their innocence for, whoever God brings them. And then you take someone else that are like a den of wolves or something, a wolf in the night or whatever you want to call that. I forgot how it's phrased or whatever. But anyway, wolf in sheep clothing, I guess. I guess it could go that way when it comes to relationship because, we know it happens in church all the time, wolf in sheep clothing, someone being a false prophet, and then pretending to be, one of God's servants to where, and then they will use God. All I can say is shame on you, because you don't use the Maker to take advantage of an innocent bystander. That's just wrong. You don't go through and hurt people that they love. If you love that person, you're going to respect the person that they have in their life, the people actually. Because if you can't respect the people I love, the people that are in my life, then how can you really say you really love me? And that's another thing I've always heard. I love you with all my heart. Well, I'm sorry, I don't love you with all my heart, because I've got to make room for other people. I've got to make room for God. I've got to make room for, your parents, your children, your grandchildren, whatever. You can't truly say you love someone with all your heart. And if we are obedient with the two greatest commandments in the kingdom of heaven, then of course it's going to overrule the 10 commandments that God gave to Moses. And so, because you're not going to be bearing false witness against a neighbor. You're not going to be stealing from them, like using their body to whatever. But my personal opinion is, don't mislead somebody, don't misguide someone, and then have the audacity to knock them down afterwards. We're not dominoes, we're not bowling pins, whatever you want to call it. You're not like playing golf. Kicking us, and that's another thing. It's like like if you treat someone like they're yesterday's news, like yesterday's trash, you kick them to the curb. We're not toilet paper where we're disposable or whatever. So, but my question is why do people have to pretend to be something they're not? Are they ashamed of who they really are? Why do they have to really use somebody and take advantage of that person? Don't they realize that they have feelings they hurt just as much as them? And that's something I always say, if we can't love each other here on earth, then how can we expect to love one another in the kingdom of heaven? It starts here on earth. God gives us this certain example of being good and kind to each other. That way we can figure out what heaven's going to be really about, the things that we need to learn here on earth first. I know this might sound weird, but I would always compare it to like temporary or baby teeth, and then there's permanent teeth. Here on earth it's like kind of like baby